My name is Rachel, and I'm 35 years old. 8 months ago, my world shattered when I discovered my husband, Ethan, had been unfaithful. Not just a one-time slip, but a string of affairs throughout our 7-year marriage. The final gut punch was learning his latest fling was expecting his child. The divorce was brutal. Ethan had the nerve to fight for most of our assets, claiming he needed them to provide for his new family. Thankfully, the judge wasn't fooled by his sob story. I walked away with our cozy apartment in a nice part of town and $300,000 from the settlement. After cutting Ethan out of my life completely, I tried to rebuild. It wasn't easy. I started therapy with Dr. Thompson, who helped me process the betrayal and anger that lingered like a bad smell. During those rough months, my family was distant. My parents, George and Margaret, were wrapped up in their own lives. My younger sister, Lauren, 28, was consumed with her boyfriend, Jake. I didn't hold it against them. Everyone's got their own stuff going on, but the loneliness stung. Lauren and I were tight as kids, but adulthood pulled us apart. She's an art curator at a local museum, while I'm a software developer working remotely. Jake's in advertising, a decent guy from what I could tell. My parents, married for 38 years, still seemed content together. The apartment I kept from the divorce was comfortable. 2 bedrooms, modern kitchen, great location. But it felt hollow without the life I'd once imagined there. One evening, Mom called. "Rachel, we're having a family dinner this Friday. Lauren and Jake will be there. We'd love to see you." I hadn't been to one in ages and hesitated. "I'm swamped with work, Mom." Her voice softened. "Please, honey, we miss you." Something in her tone made me cave. Friday night, I pulled up to my parents' house, nerves buzzing. Lauren and Jake were already there, lounging on the sofa, hands intertwined. They flashed warm smiles as I walked in. Dinner felt almost normal. Dad slicing the brisket, Mom fussing over the green beans, Lauren rambling about her museum job, Jake chiming in about a new ad campaign. I stayed quiet, easing back into family chatter. Midway through dinner, Mom set down her glass and fixed her eyes on me. "Rachel, what's your plan for the apartment?" I sipped my water. "I'm thinking of buying a house. The settlement gives me a solid down payment, and I'd rent out the apartment to cover the mortgage." My parents exchanged a glance with Lauren, a silent signal I couldn't decode. Dad cleared his throat. "We've got a better idea, one that's fairer." I raised an eyebrow. "Fairer?" Mom jumped in. "Lauren's lease is up soon and she and Jake want to move in together. Your apartment would be perfect for them." She paused, then added, "Rent-free. It'd save them money and you wouldn't have to hassle with tenants." My stomach twisted. That rental income was key to my house plans. Lauren leaned in, eyes pleading. "Rachel, please. We're trying to build a future and rent prices are insane." Mom squeezed my hand. "Just temporary until they're settled." Their hopeful faces pinned me down. I'd already mapped out my budget, but Lauren looked like she'd crumble if I said no. "They can cover utilities," I said reluctantly. Lauren lit up. "Absolutely. Water, electric, Wi-Fi, we've got it. Thank you, Rachel, you're amazing." I forced a smile, ignoring the knot in my gut. 3 weeks later, I closed on a charming house in a quiet suburb, 3 bedrooms, a spacious kitchen, and a backyard. I turned one room into a home office, and for the first time, I felt like I was moving forward. Working from home in a space that was truly mine was a relief after the apartment's ghosts. Lauren and Jake moved into my old place, bringing a bottle of wine as a thank you. Lauren hugged me tightly. "We'll treat it like our own," she promised. "All utilities covered, don't worry about a thing." Handing over the keys felt strange, but their gratitude seemed genuine. Life in my new house was good. I had a routine. Coffee at dawn, emails in the kitchen, then coding upstairs in my office. The quiet was soothing, unlike the chaos of my marriage. Lauren sent occasional texts with photos of the apartment, new throw pillows, a bookshelf they'd added, Jake's gaming console tucked in a corner. They seemed happy, and I was glad the place wasn't sitting empty. We started having Sunday dinners at my parents' again, a new ritual that felt grounding. But Lauren's chatter at these dinners started to grate. She'd go on about dream weddings, lavish venues, designer dresses, how expensive everything was. "Young couples need help these days," she'd say, glancing my way. Mom would nod. "That settlement's a blessing, Rachel. Not everyone gets a clean slate." I'd bristle. "I earned that money, Mom." 7 years of a marriage that imploded. I'd steer the conversation elsewhere, dodging their hints. Then Lauren called one evening, her voice bubbling over. "Rachel, Jake proposed. We're engaged." I smiled despite myself. "That's amazing, Lauren. Congrats." She gushed about wedding plans, then said, "Can you come over Saturday? I need to talk to you about something serious." My heart sank. I knew what was coming. Saturday, I arrived at my parents' house to find them, Lauren and Jake, surrounded by wedding magazines and spreadsheets. Lauren was radiant, tossing out ideas for a perfect wedding, ice sculptures, a live band, a custom gown. Jake added, "We need a top-notch photographer to capture it all." I sat quietly, dread building. After an hour, Lauren slid a binder across the table. "Here's our wedding budget," she said proudly. I scanned the list. Venue $18,000, catering for $230,000, flowers $10,000, dress $6,000. The total at the bottom hit like a freight train, $125,000. Lauren, I said stunned, where are you getting this kind of money? She smiled sweetly. That's what I wanted to discuss. We thought you could cover the wedding. I laughed, incredulous. My wedding cost $22,000 and I thought that was steep. You expect me to drop $125,000? Lauren's face crumpled. That's not fair, Rachel. Weddings are pricier now. Mom chimed in. It's different these days, honey. Big weddings are the norm. I shook my head. The norm is paying for what you can afford. I looked at Lauren. I'll give you $20,000. That's more than fair. You and Jake figure out the rest or scale it back. Lauren gasped, tears welling. $20,000? That's nothing. You're sitting on all that money and you're ruining my dream. She stormed off, sobbing, Jake trailing awkwardly behind. My parents avoided my eyes. The silence was suffocating. I grabbed my bag and left without a word. For 2 months, my family froze me out. No dinner invites, no calls, just radio silence. I texted Mom once about Sunday dinner and got a curt, not this week. Fine. I focused on my house, my work, and a new guy, Daniel, I'd met at a tech conference. Then my cousin Ellie invited me to her 31st birthday barbecue. The invite was just for me, suggesting my parents might not know I'd be there. I debated but went, curious and missing my extended family. Ellie's backyard was buzzing, tables laden with food, kids chasing each other, my Uncle Greg flipping burgers. I spotted my parents by the patio, sipping drinks. They saw me and stiffened. Lauren and Jake were near the dessert table, Lauren flashing her ring to cousins. She froze when she saw me but didn't look away. I grabbed a soda and mingled, enjoying Ellie's warmth. This family drama's silly, she whispered. You're always welcome here. Later, chatting with cousins about relationships, my Aunt Karen, a bit tipsy, piped up. Rachel's the only one here who's truly on her own. Before I could respond, Lauren swooped in, her voice sharp. You want to know what I think? The yard hushed as heads turned. Lauren, don't, I warned. But she pressed on, loud and venomous. Rachel's the biggest failure here. Her husband cheated, left her for another woman who's having his kid. How's it feel to be the loser, Rachel, all alone in your fancy house? Murmurs rippled through the crowd. I saw Mom smirk, Dad nod slightly. The humiliation burned, but something in me shifted. I smiled coolly. You want to know how it feels? Pretty great, actually. Especially since this loser is evicting you from her apartment. Lauren's smugness vanished. What? She whispered. You heard me, I said, still smiling. Congrats on the engagement. Hope you found a new place. I hugged Ellie, thanked her for the party, and walked to my car, ignoring the stunned faces. My phone blew up as I drove, missed calls from Lauren, Mom, Dad, and frantic texts from Lauren. What did you mean? Please call me? I ignored them and sipped tea at home, savoring the quiet. By morning, I had 20 missed calls and a flood of texts, Lauren's escalating from confusion to panic. You can't kick us out. I slept soundly. Sunday morning, 2 cars pulled into my driveway, Mom, Dad, Lauren, and Jake. They looked like they were staging an ambush. I opened the door before they knocked. They shuffled into my living room, Lauren's eyes red from crying. Mom spoke first. Rachel, you can't evict them. They have nowhere to go. I crossed my arms. That's not my problem.